Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wanderings. Soul Wanderings, that is. Hello, Natalie.
Hello, AJ.
Are you ready to wander this evening?
I can't wait to hear you talk about sound all night
Oh,
or for an
put
hour.
me put me on the spot.
Well, you're playing those lovely bowls earlier that I was like, oh my goodness.
They're so good. They're so good for
Yummy.
so many reasons, and we'll get into that. Tonight we are talking about sound healing. Sound heals. So good. If you're new to the show, visit soulwanderings.com. You can learn about the two of us and the things that we do while we hang out at this really cool place called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. You can learn more about that at vibesnow.com. It's a cool little healing center that we have.
Oh, we've been at it today too in our center.
Yes, we have.
Healing
Always,
people.
always helping people heal themselves. Holding space for that magic is so amazing. We are so blessed. Tonight's going to be fun. We have, let's see. Oh, you guys are already in the chat rooms. Look at this. Woohoo. Hi, guys. Tonight is a topic that last week a listener chimed in and said they would be interested in us chatting about. So we pushed other topics that we had on the list back a little bit um, so that we could show up.
Right. And
We
because
asked
we
for requests and you really did it. So here we are.
and because we experienced the topic before, it's a good one.
Yeah. Literally. I was playing bowls in here earlier because sound vibration is one of my favorite ways to heal. I really do enjoy that as a tool. Definitely have that in my toolbox. So we're going to talk about it. Sound healing. You're all got this, Natalie?
I got
Let's
this.
start out with you. Let's talk about your experiences with sound healing and do you utilize sound healing in your life? Have you had any profound experiences?
So my experiences are going to definitely be different than yours, which shouldn't be a shock for anyone.
Oh yeah, we both are very different. We are different but the same.
It's true in similar ways. So, and it'll include some of my human design. So I'm an emotional person. And of course, people, if you're a longtime listener or those that know me that tune into the show, know that I work with grief. So I remember when I was just deep in the swamp of my own personal grief experience, I would use songs. And I like songs that have these very profound lyrics. So music with lyrics I would listen to that would just pull me through that grief and
Yeah.
pull and wring the emotion out of me. And I would step into that space that was more the songs that were aligned with what I was personally experiencing. And it was a purposeful thing to wring it out, ring. Just,
Mhm.
ooh, just like you would pull water out of a sponge. And so that was one of the things that I used of using music that's aligned with how I was feeling or needed to work through. That was personally with grief, but then we've done dance parties in the kitchen. We've mentioned that on the show. And sometimes sound is just that type of music is really to be used purposely to, like, if you needed some good house cleaning done, you need to put on some good beat music because it definitely gets up and get moved to the beat sort of thing. So that's the way I have used sound. I like music, lyrics, songs that just feel real good
Yeah.
to use in my life.
Yeah. Because music is amazing. It
Yes.
really is amazing. It is so good. Everyone knows I love the dance parties throughout the house, especially in the kitchen when I making good food and sharing it with my friends. And hi Genghis, we chose your topic this week. And there have been many times where I've like listened to really deep melancholy music, just when
Hmm.
I'm in that mood. And people are like, why do you listen to that when you're already in that space? I'm like, because it helps me navigate my way through it. I just go deeper and feel it like in my soul. And it's so amazing and helpful for me. I just really enjoy it. And then when I'm raging, I got to listen to my metal on blast in my car. Yeah, I mean, the music is just amazing. And then there's other ways to heal with sound, like frequencies
Hmm.
and
Now I have used,
vibrations.
yes, I have used. So it's we live in this wonderful time where there's just so much available at the click, a few strokes of putting some words and stuff, search in the search engine, and there's all kinds of long. Um, so there are several different hertz frequencies played out in musically on YouTube, and I've used those at times too. God
Hmm.
frequencies, these other healing frequencies, to just put and let it just run in my house to heal me, heal my house. Um, just bless that space with those types of things. It's another
Hmm.
way of just using, like you're talking about with frequency, whether you believe it or not. I really treat life as an experiment anymore. To say,
Well,
well, let's
it
experiment.
technically is. We are here experimenting, no doubt.
That's correct. So try it out. What can happen?
Yeah, good stuff can happen. Good
Hmm.
stuff. When I'm doing my sessions here, although I use the bowls, as you can see, I'm always playing some kind of frequency music in the background because I really believe in the power that it holds to heal the body. Like, you don't have to talk about it, you just get to feel it. And I find it so beneficial. So, and in my home too, like that's how I start my mornings. I put on you talked about the God frequency. Spotify is amazing. There's so many frequency things. And the other thing is, I often get headaches. And what I do, even though like light and sound are really sensitive for me, I put in or put on my headphones or put in my earbuds, depending on how sensitive I am. And then I play different hertz music so that I can have it go all throughout my body and help me with the healing process. And when I can't sleep at night, I do the same thing. It's so like it literally is so important for me to have these frequencies. Like I literally use them every day. They help me through physical pain, emotional experiences. They help uplift a space. They help heal my clients. Like there's nothing negative I can say about sound healing. It's just so powerful and so magical. So, have you ever had or been in a sound bath or had a session with sound bowls before?
So I have had. I went to a woman's event where they did. It was journeying, so it wasn't exactly. So it was a journey, musical journey. So they played
Mm,
didgeridoo and drums and different. It, there was a theme. It was since it was
instruments.
all women, and they called it a womb ceremony. So there was this. It was just very new stuff to me then. That kind of thing. That was a just surrendering to a different experience. So it was.
Mhm.
That was. I have been through that. I have yet to partake of some of the sound baths we do, but whew, I think it might be good. Put it on the list to give to myself. But I have done a music journey, just laying there, and some of my own things. But a group event is different because you've got all these
Yeah,
other people there.
yeah.
How about you?
Definitely. In fact, I just have to throw this out there, shameless plug. We have this amazing gal that hosts sound baths here at Vibes. Her name is Sarah, and she's been doing sound baths for a long time with us. And she does different like hour journeys. Sometimes she does it with like she has one coming up on Friday if you're in the local area, Sound and Stretch, where you hold different stretch poses while she plays the bowls. So it just gives the opportunity for more expansion. And then her and I are collaborating in June. She'll be doing the sound bowls, and I'll be doing energy healing on the guests as they have the sound journey. So I'm really excited. But as far as personal experiences go, I've had a few different like one-on-one sessions with sound bowls where it's similar to what I do now, where I put the bowl actually on your body and play it. So the not only do you hear and hear through your ears, but you feel the vibration in your body. So it's like this simultaneous thing. I've had that experience before for physical pain. I went and had it done for physical pain. And my feet were really, really sore at the time. And I had laid on my stomach and then bent my knees. So the flats of my feet were up, and they put the bowl right on the bottoms of my feet. And it literally pulled the pain from my feet. Literally pulled the pain. And I knew like there was something to it, like not just that I was enjoying sound healing or music or lyrics or anything like that in my life, but when I understood that I had the capacity to do that, I was sold. And
Mhm.
that's when I started collecting my really expensive tools. And I will continue to add because I just really believe in them and enjoy them very much. But what's really cool is when I started like researching this sound healing. And this is the best way that I can explain it to you. So just like imagine your body being the most magnificent instrument of all.
Mhm.
Like we are the instrument of choice, whether it's piano or guitar or whatever, okay? And all the keys and chords are perfectly tuned in your body. And then life happens. We have this stress and we have all of these emotions, and then you insert some trauma and throw in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and the keys or the chords, they become sticky. They don't work the same. They become dissonant. And that starts to affect all the other parts and pieces around it. So when I look at sound healing, that's how I look at it. I look at it as like as a returning, like returning the keys and the chords and all the little bits and pieces that make up my body into whole, back into a state of resonance. It's like actually working on our nervous system, our brain function, all of our systems, right? It's an attunement of your body, your personal instrument. And so I really love sound healing because it's I don't feel like it's just healing aspects of like my instrument, my machine, but all my body. It's also, I really believe, activating my potential, like bringing in new energy for all sorts of possibilities. I just think it's so magical. And in fact, we just had a comment. I want to post this up here. AJ, you reminding me of chanting Om. When a room full of people are chanting, it literally resonates with your entire being. That's exactly why I wear this necklace, my Om necklace, is to remind me to connect to like my personal power, my breath, my vibration. I love it when you're in a room and everyone is doing that frequency together. It's very powerful. Very powerful. It's so good. Thanks, everyone in the chat rooms who were sharing their experience with sound healing. Back in the day in Dallas, there was a place called the Across the Street Bar that held drum circles. That was always amazing to attend. Oh, drum circles. Yes. I've been to a few of those. There's this park in Salt Lake called Liberty Park, and every Sunday they have drum circles. So everyone in the city who wants to attend just gathers around in this big, huge park and drums and plays musical instruments. It's so hippy dippy.
Probably really lovely for the grass and the trees.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. It's so good. Um, but I've lost my thought. There's just
It's okay. So I was, I'll just pick it up for a second.
thank you. I'm like, I
So,
know it's there.
yeah, it'll come back. I just remembered. So I went and had some family time over the weekend, and so I was with some of my sisters and my mom, and my older sister was talking about. I think two of my sisters went to this sound bath, but they used vocalization. So the person was vocalizing, and it was different kinds of, like, even screeching and different things. The person was doing vocalizations.
Mhm.
And my sister made this comment. She says, I left there and I felt I grew 6 inches.
Oh, that is so
Yes.
cool.
Yes. And I said, I'm sure that your aura did.
Mhm.
I'm sure you did expand in that experience. She says, I'm going to do that again.
Yeah, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I love the positive feedback. Also, like sound healing, I've noticed just from my own experience with clients, brings out so many emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like people will just start laughing or crying, or even physically like having a release. It is just really amazing how the body reacts to the frequencies. It takes as little as like 2 hertz to start healing. I know we have like all these other like 528 and even up to the 900s that do some really amazing, crazy things, but as little as 2 helps with nerve degeneration. I remember that because I've have nerve issues and nervous system issues for many years, and I remember one of the nurse practitioners was making a recommendation to me one time. This is before I was even involved with any of this, and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess it won't hurt to try." But I remember having that experience and just feeling better. Like I didn't understand like the capacity in which that frequency holds and the long-term effects from it. But I stayed consistent and I really feel that it had a positive effect on me. But it just goes up from there. Like 2 is nothing. And then you start at every hertz has a different component that it adds to or reacts to your body reacts to. Does that make sense? And so
Yes. Do you have?
I'm hearing things. It's kind of distracting me. Something's beeping and I don't know what it is. Anyway, you can totally heal your body utilizing sound. It's studied, it's proven to heal your body. That's incredible. But you also got to look at it like we're an electromagnetic being.
Mm-hmm.
We're a magnet. And the sound can literally change our vibrational frequency just by listening to it. Listening to it. Even if it's in the background like you do when you're in your home, just playing in the background if you're not putting a lot of, thought or attention to it, it's still doing work on you. We are vibrational beings and everything around us is a vibration. This room behind me has a vibration. My own vibrational energy, yours. Like everything is so powerful and healing when you look at it in that way. It
Right.
really is just incredible. Oh, and look, Sarah has joined us. She missed us talking about her greatness, but it's really neat. We talked about her, and then bam, there
Here she
she
shows
is.
up.
Yep, yep. It's so good. Sarah, what in the chat, if you feel so inclined, share a little something about your experience with sound healing and how you feel it affects you or the guests that you play for. Seeing how you are our sound bath extraordinaire.
So
It's
I
really
want to talk for
go
a
ahead.
minute because we're talking about the healing aspect. So sound, we've been talking about how sound vibration has an effect on our bodies. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
what frequency you're listening to, which means that it has a drawing down effect as much as an elevation effect.
Mm,
So when we listen to things that will pull at our frequency, it can pull us down.
mhm.
So paying attention to what we listen to, there's definitely songs.
Ah,
Yeah.
good point.
So
There's some music I'm like, turn it
yes,
off, turn it off.
yes. One of the interesting things I've gone through a lot of different work, and we talk about a lot of that on the show. Changed up a lot of things. There are songs that just don't resonate anymore. I don't really
Mhm,
like listening to someone broke my heart and you should feel bad about that kind of sort thing. Kind of, I don't like listening to some songs that just don't have a sense of empowerment or something, or
mhm,
yeah, those types they don't resonate with me anymore. The other thing is just bringing this up is to pay attention to the music, um, and the aspect. There can be things that just don't don't really build in health. They'll build in some other types of things, and unfortunately, um, in what I do, I encounter a lot of different stories where people listen to very dark, depressing, self elimination kind of thing and woven in through music. They can get there. They can get on the edge where they want to jump off the cliff. It may be validating or kind of resonating in what they're experiencing, but it also keeps us down in the dumps. We talked about listening to stuff that's melancholic and wringing yourself out, but it's not stuff I listen to all the time. It's mood specific. But I wanted to bring up that fact that said, changing up the music or paying attention to what we listen to.
mhm,
Um, we've talked about it before. I'm not a fan of having a TV playing in the background all the time. Oh my goodness, that was the first time when I was at my mom's house. She was watching the news, and I just walked into the room and I'm like, oh, just my
mhm,
auditory, the frequency of it, I could
mhm.
hardly understand the people. Just it's just not where I live anymore. So it was fascinating to listen to it and just like, wow, that just doesn't resonate with me at all.
Yeah,
So
it's true. The
tuning
news
up
for
those
me,
things.
no, thank you. Mm-mm.
Don't be afraid to change up your playlist.
Sarah said, I love it and I love to see how it makes people feel. Sometimes they don't even expect a release, but then they feel it and it's amazing to witness. And she also said, I also love hearing everyone's journey afterwards because everyone will go through something different, but we will hold that space together for them to feel safe to go through it. Such a great experience. That's so cool. But going back to like listening, I even do that with the sound healing. So where I have the frequencies playing in the background while I'm at work the whole time, and it's playing from my phone onto my speaker. Then I get in my car and it automatically connects and it's the same stuff. And sometimes I'm still in the mood, right? I'm still like, oh yeah, I'll still listen to this while I drive. And other times I'm like, oh, I cannot take any more healing right now. I've got to turn it off and just have complete silence. Or like some classic rock or something else, because you talk about the other music being heavy or negative, but it's the same. Like, you have to have some kind of balance in all things.
Right. I've been there before. Where like, okay, I've had enough God frequency. I'm just gonna...
Yeah. We have Soul Portal. He is being very active in the chat. Thank you very much. Said, amen, Natalie. Noise for the sake of filling an empty space. Why not use something healing? Make a habit to heal yourself and others. There's a balance. Not too much, not too little. There's a give and take. Make room for something. So I love when you guys chat. This is so cool. We love the interaction that goes on between each other, and then all the goodness that you add to the show. We may have the topics that we're talking about, but you guys are a big part of the show. And that's why we always say, let's journey together, because it's not just about Natalie and I's experience. It's about all of us. We're always in it together. We have Judy saying healing power from assortment of our beloved animals. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
even think about
yes.
that. Little animal lover.
Oh my goodness, my parrot used to dance. She would get dancing.
That's awesome.
Her head would bob up and down.
If we're
Animals
talking
really.
about music, do you have a favorite type?
Me?
Uh-huh.
So I do. I gravitate towards alternative rock music. I just like alternative rock and sometimes some electronica. It's really good. Get a dance beat electronica. It's
I
good to
didn't know that
listen
about you.
to.
I mean, I know you can dance, but
Oh yes, we had a fun time where there was there was some good music going on where we were this weekend, and it was like my body is like, okay, I got to get up and dance.
Mhm.
I can't just sit here. It needs to move on the dance floor and let my body move. It's fun. I love the fact. So I used to be restricted with that. I just am like awkward, whatever. And then I finally released and said, they're really, as when it comes to just randomly dancing on a dance floor, there's no rules. No rules to dancing.
No, there isn't.
And so that just made it easier, and I found that my body is more comfortable in it. And I don't know what I look like, because we don't look at ourselves when we're dancing, but I had a fun experience dancing with a cute little blonde haired little, he wasn't little, but a lovely cute blonde haired blue haired guy over the weekend. It was good. I'm like, lucky me.
Natalie's got some dance moves, let me tell y'all.
It was
It's
good.
good.
That felt good for my body to
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah, dancing is healing. Music is healing. It's just so good. All of it is so good. So to be honest, like, I only know what a little I know about sound healing, other than experiencing it and then knowing its effects by working with it with my clients, and the little research that I've done. I'm not like a certified sound healer or anything like that. I don't know enough about it to be that, but I do understand it, and I do understand how it works, and I've seen the effects of it working not only on others but for myself. And so, for as far as the topic goes, I found myself thinking, oh, okay, how are we going to talk about this for an hour? Because I mean, it could be all different things about it, because there's binaural beats, and there's all kinds of other types of music that have different reactions in our physical and emotional bodies. So there's a lot going on in all different ways. I just don't have a full broad spectrum of understanding all of it yet.
Right.
I think it's really fun. I think it's really amazing. I find it super magical. The other thing is that we seem to gather um, lyric quotes in the chat room on a regular basis.
See, they've got the music
We
and
have
the
like
words.
we have a topic that comes up, And then next thing you know, people in the chat room are, typing up lyrics to a certain song. We do it too, let's be honest. I'm not sure why we're not hosting a show on music, history of, and all the good stuff. I probably have said this before, but there's something really special about disco for me. I don't know if it's just because of that era, like everyone was just, free body. They were just like in the present moment with the music, with the vibration, the frequency of the music, and just really let loose. I don't know if it was that or the drugs, but either way, they were in it. Um, I love disco, and I never really understood why I was so a- attracted to it until, like, I think within the last 10 years, I found out that my mom went into labor with me when she was out disco dancing. And I've just always been attracted to it. She never told me, like, brought up that story, like, maybe this could be why that wasn't a thing. But I found out I almost was birthed in a dance hall in Salt Lake on like the 13th floor of some big dance place. But my favorite song ever, and this is so ridiculous when I say it out loud because there are a lot of really great songs in the world, and I have handfuls and handfuls of songs we could talk about. But Funky Town by Lips Inc. You guys, I want you all to play that song tonight or tomorrow and dance your heart out because you can be sad, mad, happy. You just get to get happier. If you're happy, you'll get happier. If you're mad, you'll get happy. If you're sad, you'll get happy. You cannot be disappointed on Funky Town. And if you don't do the fingers with it, you're not doing it right. If you're not shaking the hips, you're not doing it right.
You know, the number of listens is going to go up significantly because you're go ahead on to Funky Town.
I don't know about that, but it really is like one of those songs. There's always those songs that will just like, why am I worrying so much about this or life, or why am I so sad? Like, why are we taking ourselves so seriously? Music has a way of pulling us through or out of or taking us in to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really awesome, right?
Yes, it is.
Judy says demo that one. Okay, so Judy does some magic stuff in our space too. And Judy, if you want to have a vibes dance party, it is on. We will do the thing. See? Just mentioning the song Funky Town. I know, guys. Now you're not going to be able to get out of your head either. You're welcome.
That happened last night. Someone was mentioning music and just like, thank you, that's in my head now.
Yeah. It's in my head. Yeah, the Cranberry song. I sang
Yes.
it for like 2 hours in my head last night.
Mm-hmm. How it works. So I want to talk a minute about difficult, how do I want to put it? Where we can resist. And so here we are talking about sound healing. So let's talk about really truly what healing looks like, because healing's messy. Can be often really messy and just and uncomfortable. And we're talking about sound healing. Oh, it's great and all that. Well, wait till you're like big old release. You're in the sound bath and you're doing a really big release, and because there's some stuff packed up in your inner rooms that needs to come up and out. Or
Mhm,
you find yourself crying when you thought, oh, going in, I'm going to have this blissful experience. Well, you can't get to blissful until you unpack all the baggage to
mhm,
clear the space for the bliss just to radiate through everything. So often going through these sound experiences, you're having an eruption
mhm,
of various things. And so the body can twitch, the body can be uncomfortable, the crying can make you uncomfortable.
mhm.
Um, and the willingness, the healing that requires surrender, and let the ick flow out of you in various ways. A lot
Mhm.
of times people don't expect that because
Mhm.
we can talk about it in such lovely terms, and
Yeah.
then you go in and there's some things to get released, and the releasing can be like, whoa, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Release.
When you first started talking, I wasn't laughing at the serious direction that you were taking it. I was laughing at because there was a comment made how I am more childlike and silly and not so serious, and you are more serious and practical.
True.
And I'm sitting here talking about all this funny stuff, and Natalie's like, redirect.
Yep. Now I can do my part. Well,
But
Capricorn
no,
and
but yes,
Pisces, it's
let's be serious for a minute, Natalie. You're correct. You're correct.
because I feel that a lot of times people can have an inner resistance to letting go, and so won't necessarily, or they'll be uncomfortable to go into a place and
Yeah.
to put themselves in a space like that. Or we can be so attached to our disease. We talked about that. Our uncomfortableness, our story, our chaos, our drama, that we
Mhm.
just don't want to step into a place to release it,
Mhm.
however that looks like. Um, or to think that we're going into something and we haven't realized that there's going to be a little messy before we get to the other side of that.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to bring that part up
No,
just to understand it.
I completely agree with that. I know from experience, and I'll just say this for those who are like fighting that release because of fear or judgment or whatever that looks like for you. We've talked about um, different states of consciousness, and on the other side of fear is freedom and joy and happiness and all of these other experiences. So while you stay put in this space of, I'm good where I'm at and I don't want to feel that, I don't need to feel that. Can you imagine if you felt good right now, what better would feel like on the other side of that release? Because that's what happens. You feel better, you feel lighter. And then there's parts of you that become healed. And there's so much beauty in the healing process. And I love that we're talking about sound because sound is one of those free tools that you can access at all times, even within yourself by humming,
Mhm.
that you can work on the healing. It's that accessible as your breath. And so it's not something that you say, I can't afford to go and do that sound bath, or I can't afford to go to that concert, or I don't have the time, or I'm in too much pain. You literally can do it yourself. You literally can do it yourself. My thing is like what we offer, everything that we do, although we have certifications and experience this, that, and the other, and we offer this as opportunity, we are also tools. We just show up for you so you can show up for yourself. We show up for you to guide you to healing yourself. Like we don't heal you. You heal yourself. And so when you have free access to frequency and vibration all around you, including within, there are no excuses not
Mhm.
to walk on this path of healing. Just had to put my 2 cents in on that.
That's very good. Way to initiate the whole audience.
So, to initiate the whole audience, what are ways that sound healing helps you guys? Or what types of sound healing do you go to when you're working through your emotions or your physical pain or life, life in general. Like, what are the sound tools that are your favorite? And we'll share here up on the screen. I'd love to hear other people's points of view.
So I remember there's times where do you want to read that?
No,
I'm still
finish your story. You're good.
So there's times I really appreciate Gregorian chants. So Gregorian
Mm.
monks and their chanting is for some reason I just resonate with that. And there's been times in my life where I've just felt funky, and that idea comes to mind, so I put it on. Or when I'm in a lot of pain. Fortunately, I don't experience as much of that as I used to, but there'd be times I've had these 24-hour headaches, and so I would just need something to just, not to mention I don't necessarily rest well. My body, I'm a manifesting generator, so I've just got an abundance of energy. So laying there listening to something gives my mind something to focus on and lets my body do the healing
Mm-hmm.
and experience that. So that's one of Gregorian chants is another one that I like.
Mm, it's a good one. When I go into the Akashic Records, there's actually a couple of playlists on Spotify with Akashic record frequencies. It
What?
there is.
Mm.
Just type in Akashic records frequencies, and then there's like all different kinds of hertz music and different vibrational music and prayer kind of music. And I really like it because it helps elevate my frequency. So when you go into the Akashic records, you're in between the fifth and the seventh dimension. And so where we're dense human beings hanging out here, between the third and the fifth, if we're lucky, you've got to raise your frequency in order to meet this energetic library that you go into. And it really can take a toll on the physical body. It is a lot of energy. You feel when you first start raising your frequency to go into these higher dimensional places, you do get nauseous and dizzy until you really practice going into those places. But one of the most important tools that I used was those playlists of just having it kind of play in the background while I did my meditations. And so now when I offer my readings, I always have it playing lightly in the background just so we have that frequency being held in that space while we are accessing the records. It's powerful stuff.
I'm sitting here thinking. So in my work I don't use music in my work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's all speaking, so it feels
Which
like
has a frequency.
it does have a frequency. So it's not musical other than in our vocalizations. And so in that watching and listening to people for the years that I've been doing this, when as people there'll be times where people are talking and they will hear their own answer in what they're saying and and expressing things can move things along quite well.
Yeah, definitely.
All of these things go into the healing.
What about, I mean, we're talking about frequencies as far as tunes go and as far as music goes, but what about just talking to yourself? Like
Mhm.
having a conversation with yourself and
So
maybe changing the tones and the pitches while you talk. Go ahead.
that the interpretation, so texting, so that I'm going to bring up this will be as you're talking to yourself, but texting has no tonation in it. um, and so to practice, maybe you don't do it with your own self-talk, but you can definitely practice. So that's
Mhm.
what I was reminded of, is that if you read a text from someone and then you have a sort of reaction to it. You've put a tone into the person's word, or your inner voice is reading that, and you may be hearing it in the person's voice if you know them, but the tonation is set by you. And it may
Mm-hmm.
be a way to realize how the the generalized culture language of your voice or your inside voice is as you read a
Mm-hmm.
text. And so then you can actively practice speaking differently. Now that's a challenge for many people.
Mm-hmm.
They find it hard or it doesn't quite make sense. It sounds like a different sort of language. And often in the very beginning, not that our our listeners are probably a little further down the road, but we all have different places that we are. And so if that feels funny to you, we want you to get out of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and do something that's expansive, which is beyond that regular, consistent place.
Soul Portal put, that's why I send emojis. We have them, use them. I agree. Because sometimes I come across really like blunt, and people will read it and be like, ooh, she's spicy. And I'm not trying to be, so I have to put hearts and smiles and whatever. And I use a lot of emojis. I'm definitely an emojis girl, just so I can make sure that they know we're good.
All these expressions.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten in trouble for that too, because sometimes you can put too many emojis and send the wrong idea. Anyway,
It's true.
you live and you learn. That's part of the experience.
So I wanted to tell the story about it was many years ago when I was first walking in the community of new age consciousness, healers, that type of thing. I hadn't done a lot of that before this time, but there was a woman that had a crystal harp, and so she would have people lay down on like a massage table, and she would place the harp on your chest and play it.
Mhm,
So I lay down and she started playing it. And then I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And maybe I was resisting, like I was talking about. Maybe I was resisting what was coming up and this uncomfortable and
mhm,
getting out of my comfort zone. But it didn't feel quite right to me.
mhm.
Um, so I want to bring that up because we actually can also trust if our body doesn't want to go all the way through something, it's okay to not do it because that didn't mean I stopped my healing journey. It just mean that my was experience about this crystal harp could have been way more powerful than I was ready for too.
Mhm.
Because those crystal harps, when they're heavy on your chest, and then that's an intense instrument.
Right. The
So,
vibration from those are extremely powerful.
and it was fascinating because my niece was had the same treatment with this woman, and my niece just loved it.
Mhm,
She was moving through a lot of things. So one instrument may not resonate with you, or several, and another thing would. So experiment with it. Play different play around with it if you come across things.
yeah, that's a good point. And it's also really important. I think somebody, yeah, you have to release carefully, he said. It's it's really important to trust yourself and to trust your body. And if your body isn't resonating with it, it's not meant for you at that time. And that's okay. Let that go and try something else. Like we attach to things like, nope, got to finish it. I signed up for this. I made a commitment, but that's not true. Everything in life is fluid. Just switch it up, try something else. And I think, you know, there's something to be said about really pushing yourself through, especially when it comes um, to the healing process. There's something called healing crisis where you just go too much, too deep, too fast,
Mhm.
and you end up having to go backwards because it's just too intense for you. And there's no judgment on that. Like I had a healing crisis in the beginning of my journey and said, "Nope, I'm good. Not getting into any of this. That's not what I want. That's too much. That's too intense. That's not for me." And it really pushed me away from that path, this path for a long time. Like I was just like, "Nope, I just can't. That you guys are way cool. That's just not for me." Because you just have to really honor where you're at and dive in slowly, not deeply. Yeah. And we just,
Sometimes,
sometimes it could be the person, not the object.
oh, yeah. So I was gonna touch on something like that comment, and saying that sometimes practitioners can push people um, beyond where a person is ready to go. Not all practitioners are the same, and so also learning to trust your inner self. This
Mhm,
can be a tricky field to navigate.
mhm,
Finding a practitioner, um, there's a wide variety in practitioners,
mhm.
and sometimes practitioners can be really interested in getting a person moved through the process where a person's body may
For
not
their,
be ready to.
yeah, and for their own egos, right? So when I said earlier, like we're vibrational beings and everything around us is vibration. It's not just the instrument. It's also the person initiating the sound healing. They're also a vibe, you guys.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing.
Hmm.
That's what's crazy about it. If you're interested in sound healing and you're in the local area, make sure you guys check out Vibes Now. We have some really cool gatherings that take place, like I said, by Sarah. She hosts the very intentional and beautiful sound baths here. And if you're not in the local area, make sure you do your research and find a practitioner or a gathering spot that feels good in your heart to attend. And also, if it doesn't feel good in the middle of it, you have permission to get up and walk away. You don't have to fulfill the obligation, which is so good, right? Don't
Freedom to
push
choose.
yourself.
Freedom to choose out. That's group gatherings can be like that, where you can
Just
get
so, I'm not
roped
a
in.
big group gathering girl. Like I would love to go to them, but if there's too many people, that's just way too much energy for me when everyone's all trying to tap in all at the same time. Whew, no thanks. I'm super energy sensitive.
Oh, you definitely are.
Yeah. In fact, we'll just throw this out there. It's not anything to do with sound healing, but definitely frequency. Natalie and I stayed in a very, very spirit filled location over the weekend. Holy smokes. Literally, I got the wind knocked out of me. Almost passed out. I don't remember a few seconds of everything that happened, but my goodness, it was an interesting experience.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
here's another one. Quantum light therapy with certain vibration frequencies add healing as well. Yeah.
Wasn't what was that quote that we heard last night? Someone said that if you did he say like you speak at this the you talked about the speed of I can't remember. It's that's just awkward when you bring up in a show. What was that quote? Oh yeah, I can't remember. Forget it. Okay.
Was it in the class last night?
Yes, that was speaking. Speaking was at the speed of sound, and something else was. Oh, he talked about you like moving his hands, like sign language was at the speed of light. That's what it
Oh,
was.
maybe I missed it.
No, that was that was just why that bubbled up in my intuition. I don't know, but I'm like, oh, it's good. Thoughts become deeds, so it comes out my mouth, and it's like, okay, so there was that. I was
There was that.
still thinking about vocalizations and singing and how singing can be. Um, you can also sing out. You
Mhm.
know how we all love to sing in the shower.
I
We
don't
all
know if
sound
all of
like
us
rock
do.
stars.
I know all of us shouldn't, but
You don't like
but
singing in the shower.
oh, I sing in the shower. I sing all the time. I can't carry a tune to save my life, but I don't care. I still sing because it makes me happy. And I'm a lyrics girl. Beats are one thing, but I love lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I like to dive deep into the lyrics end of things. So, well, tonight's been a fun topic. We want to thank our listener Genghis for offering it to us. We still have a list of topics. We just pushed them off and put this one up ahead. But if you guys want to insert a topic request, we will put them all. We are here for you. If we're entertaining enough or assisting you enough, throw one out there for us. Email us at connect@soulwanderings.com. And then you can also connect to any of our social media links by visiting soulwanderings.com. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you guys haven't already liked our video tonight or subscribed to our channel, please do so. We are still building an audience, being brand new to this YouTube thing. And we appreciate all of the support. It's really neat having you guys show up every week in the chat room like this. It's so much fun. Thanks, everyone. We really enjoy it. Natalie, do you have anything before we close?
Just tune into those things. Listen, learn to listen to your body and feel whether you're feeling dense and vibe and or light in vibration. And don't
Mhm.
be afraid to try different things that maybe you haven't experienced before. And and the other thing, it may be subtle. The change may be subtle. And you
Mhm.
may be like 2 months after you do a particular thing that you'll see the integration happen. So there's also this integration period that happens after. So you go to sound bath and you're just like, I don't know, that felt really good. And then 2 months later, you might notice that something shifted. So there is an integration period after sound healing
Mhm.
that's more than just overnight. So also be patient in your healing journey because things get integrated over time. The body just needs to integrate the new vibration into itself. So that's another
Mhm.
thing to feel to understand.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to leave us with. Good job. Way cool. I agree. There have been many times where I have had experiences and I'm like, oh, I feel really nice. That's good. But then I realize the effects like days or even weeks later, and I can
Hmm.
pinpoint it to that experience. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks, listeners, for all of your participation in the chat room. You guys are the best. We adore you.
Love you so much.
Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you all next week with a new topic. Same time, same place.
Good
Good night.
night.